So I actually wanted to add to that because I don't know where I left off, but I noticed like I get a little distracted sometimes, and whew, I'm telling you, it's not even funny, right? So I wanted to add to that because I said to myself, like when he was asking that question, sorry, excuse me, I'm writing something down. Um, okay, so I had said to myself, I'm like, you know, when he was asking these questions, like usually what goes through my mind at that moment, like why he on my business, blah 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 blah, it'd just be like a whole bunch of like bad thoughts, and I realized it's not because of him or anyone around me. It's just because like in that moment when my feelings is not in the right place to even be answering it. So I was just really proud of myself because I'm saying like wow, like I've really reached. I'm not saying I'm all the way there yet as far as it goes because you know whenever a person goes through something that's traumatizing, but another person is not looking at it as traumatizing, right? um they just see it as, oh, like you're bugging or whatever the case is, right? And either way, that's fine. Like they have every right to think what they're thinking because that's just how they see it, right? But you know what's going on within yourself. Like you know your heart, you know your soul, you know your mind, you know what's going on within, and even if you speak it out to another person, they're gonna have their commentaries, advice, judgment, or say this, say that, because in all actuality, how I'm looking at it at that point is like, oh, you just really don't want to hear it or whatever, and that's totally fine. Like everyone has a right, to do certain things to deflect or, like be nice about saying something without actually saying it. And that's totally fine. But see, the thing is, because the way how I really kind of, I'll say God, of course, built me this way where not only do I have a whole bunch of love, but I am a very tough person. And it's a reason why I was built this way. However, the reason might be like he's preparing me for something, and that's all we have to look at it as at the end of the day. So to go back to that story, I titled it "Speak with Love," right? And um, we all have a good and bad side in us, and we all have every right to be in either or, use either or, whatever. Like we all have an ego. You know what I mean? Sometimes that ego gets a little bit out of hand if we're not really feeling within our hearts what it is, what's going on, and actually giving everything to God and saying, God, like I am hurt about this specific situation. How do I handle it? How do I go through it? Because when you ignore it, it gets worse. And I actually put myself to that test to realize it can get worse. People could when you're open and vulnerable like that and you're not paying attention too much, you're not aware, they can send some negative things towards you, whatever it could be. Then you start flipping out and then going ham and a whole lot of stuff. And I've actually experienced this, because I actually said to myself, I need to put myself through the experience in order to really, really get the grasp of what's going on. So when that guy had approached me about the situation, I kept it really short, really simple, because what happens is when you start to go deeper into things with people, right? Then they find something to pick, to combat against, to say, oh, you're wrong about that, because now I'm triggering something within them that had nothing to do with them, because the whole conversation was about me and my son's father. And then a lot of people veer off of tracks and they get off of the track, not realizing like they brought the whole thing onto themselves and placing a story towards themselves as if it was about them from the beginning. And I truly, truly understand a lot of stuff now. Like, I've seen it from different angles, sides, everything. Like, I see it now. Like, it's getting clearer every day. And the only way it could have got clear to me is if I filled in those gaps that was, I could say, not empty, but it just didn't feel, it didn't, like, it was, I wasn't filled or something. So what I'm trying to say is there will always be good and there will always be bad. When there's something good, there is going to be something bad. Unfortunately, that's just the reality we live in. Like, this is what it is. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, get the understanding of that, but sometimes people don't heal old wounds, that they just jump from one to the other to the other to the other, which is totally fine, because at the end of the day, life is still going. Like, nobody, nothing, and time is nobody, nothing is waiting on you. So it's not like it's wrong for a person to go from here to here to here to here to here to here to here, because sometimes so many things is happening at once that you can't even get the grasp or the breath or the moment or the time to actually breathe and say, oh, you know. I realized, like, when I said that to him, I actually felt great waking up this morning. Um, I actually was able to feel, I think I was numbing myself a little bit, and the prayers I was saying to God was like, really like, whoa, because I don't think anybody would pray stuff like that. Not saying like I'm praying bad towards anybody. I'm not praying bad towards anybody. It was actually all towards myself. Everything I do, anytime I pray, I make sure when I'm praying for anybody, I have to be in full good spirits. Like, I cannot pray for somebody and then send something to them that's not good. And if I did, at the end of the day, I wouldn't know. But if I did, I always ask God for forgiveness, because in that very moment, even though I had a right to feel certain ways about certain things, I knew that I wasn't going to send it towards anybody neither. So, I just feel like we all just need to kind of be careful, because we're all source of energy in some sort of way. Like, we were all built a certain way. Like, things happen for a certain reason, however those reasons are. Like, and I have a bigger understanding of a lot of things, because I make sure that, I kind of keep things, I make sure I kind of keep things for myself, like clarity, where I have something between God and I, so it's like I don't get caught up like I used to. So I stay prayed up so I don't get caught up, right? But with that being said, I just want to say, like, I'm very happy with how I responded to that. That was like a huge test for me, because before I would probably went like so into it, and now other people listening, now they feelings getting hurt and all this other stuff. So it's like I actually was on the other, because I had to put myself on the other side to really like get a full understanding of a lot of things. And then I realized I'm just giving in to what everyone is probably saying about me. And at the end of the day, I didn't even care because they were not walking in my shoes. They didn't know half the battles I had to face. They didn't know all the struggles. They didn't know all my trials and tribulations. They did not know that. So regardless if someone on the outside looking at me saying, "Oh, why is she walking around like she thinks she this," or "Why is she doing this," or "How come," and da da da. You know what? Thank you, because all you're doing is, regardless if it's good energy or bad energy, positive, negative, whatever it is, you're just doing something for me to be able to grow. And, that goes for everybody, because I'm not going to say, "Oh, I haven't had my share of speaking about people," but I don't, the way how I do, I don't speak about people. I speak about what they said to me. And, even so, that is more like, you know, gossip, I guess, because now, like, someone is saying this to me, and then I'm going back to say something else. And I've never been in these situations. I actually had to, like, put myself in it to understand why, certain things. And I already understood it from before. I just had to realize, like, damn, I got to get my feelings together. Like, I have to, because people are trying to trigger me. They send in, you know, negative vibes towards me. They talking behind my back. Only God knows exactly what it is, what they saying. I don't want to hear it anymore, and I'm just over it, because I'm not a child. Like, I don't have to answer to anybody. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm out here hustling, bustling, making sure, my son is good. I'm good. Keeping my house maintained. You know, um, doing more for my business, and I'm really not paying anyone any mind. Like, I'm truly, like, even though I know for myself what's going on in some sort of way, I really don't pay it any mind. And I think that was a test that God was giving me at that point. Like, let me see how you're gonna react, and let me see how you're gonna respond. Let me see if you even respond. Let me see if you even show it any kind of attention. Because right now, as far as I know, God wants me to be the bigger person in a lot of things, and really get my feelings together, because whatever He's preparing me for, it is going to be something so major that I need to make sure that I'm intact. So I have to go, but I'm so proud of myself, and I hope that everyone finds a great moment within themselves to say, "You know what? I did this. I did great at this. And you know what? That was not a good thing to do. I recognize it. I'm going to change it. I'm going to make it better. I'm going to grow. I'm going to find a way to make something more possible than ever." Hi. So I'm going to go. Everyone have a blessed day. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Bye, if you watch it.